we have two options. One is import and direct query. Okay. So when you do an import option, Power BI works very efficiently. That gives you 100% features that what it has. I mean, you can able to use it, can able to use it all the features which Microsoft is stating that. But when it comes to the direct query, you have limited options. Okay, limited in the sense, it's assume that you will get 95% of the features. What exactly the Power BI has. But when it comes to the import, you will get all the features. And one that example is that, see, if you see here this order date, the data hierarchy also automatically created. The date hierarchy is automatically created. It is not something which is coming from the source. The reason because that PowerShell is very powerful enough, it will understand everything, and it does for us. And let's say if you wanted to create your hierarchy on your own, that still it is possible. Let's say somewhere in one of the sheet we have seen, right? Category and subcategory. So that is also, again, we can do it. We can drag and drop it. That is again, we can create it. What happened? Is it dropped? Okay, so it is not happening, but this is how you need to do it manually. Okay, why? Because this is an Excel data. So maybe like if we pull the data from a database, we can manually create the hierarchy basically. So how do we create a manual? Manually, we can drag and drop it, drag and
Okay,
drop
okay.
onto the column. Then we can create the hierarchy. Okay, so that's how automatically a hierarchy can be created. Okay, and so what we are doing, we were yesterday we were talking about something, right? Yeah. So yeah. So what we are doing here, let me. Yeah. So what we are seeing here, we are building a small report there. It should display the current year sales and the previous year sales. Okay. So we know the total current year sales, why? Because we have built it with the help of data. So this, if you see here, year-wise sales. This is not something which I have created with the help of a calculated column. This got created automatically when I imported the data. Since it's a date, it has the date hierarchy has been created for us. So I just chosen this year and the sales amount. Sales amount is also a direct field. I mean the total sales amount. I think this is the one which we have created a measure. We have created a measure for this one, right? So it is a calculation, the sum of total sales. This is the sum of total sales. And now we wanted to know what is the total sales. I mean, what is the sales in the last year? You cannot manually go and say, what is the last year sales for the 2015. You cannot go and say manually that you can see there is a line above that one, right? So that we cannot say. But we have to build the report that will give the comparison between these two. Okay, so for that reason, we have to create a DAX calculation again. So let's create that one and create a measure for this. And previous year sales. Okay, so the calculate. So for evaluating every expression, as I said, like most of the times you need to go with the calculate function. So why? Because as I told you, like it basically modifies the context. We talked about context filter and row filters, right? So filter context and row context. So basically it changes the context of it. So this is very important, very powerful. The calculate function, you need to see how it works. You need to see how it works. Okay. So what my goal is here is I need to build a measure that will take my sales. That will take my sales as an input And then after, I will give all the years to this calculate function. Then after, what I will do, I will use a date function. I will use a date function to go back and pull that value for the last year. For the last year, you know the date function, right? And what the date function that we used to go back to any last year or something? We have used date add function in SQL. The same date add function is also available in DAX as well. Okay, so let's write down, and the sum of what I will do, the sales, the sum of sales. So I will close the bracket over here and will give a comma here, and then after I will add a all command. So this will all function, this will include. So what it is saying, returns all the rows in the table or all the values in a column, ignoring any filter that might be applied. So even if you applying any filters, but it will do the calculation within the measure itself. So the all is again another function which is very powerful. So even if you are externally applying any filters, that will not be applied out. That will not be applied out for that calculation, for that measure calculation. It will look, basically it will look for all the values that are available in the table. Okay, so here what I will have to use, I will have to use all the years, right? All the years. So I need to make sure that it is the calculation is happening on all the years. So let's give a comma here. So this part is done. Now comes up with your sales amount, right? Now comes up with your sales amount, but which sales amount? Which year sales amount you need to take it? You need to take the previous year sales amount, right? Previous year sales amount. So it has three parameters that you know. Even in the SQL, we have a three parameters. What is that? First one will be the period. Then after the period, like either you wanted to add the number of days or just go back to the previous dates. That's how you can do it. And here I wanted to go back to the last 1 year, previous 1 year. So that's how I have used order date. I've used this order date.
Manik, I have a quick question here.
Mhm.
So I understood, I mean, like, okay, we are doing some of the order sales and
Right.
dated, I mean, like, we are pulling out for the previous year. But what does that all of orders date will do here?
Yes. So what this order date will do, let's say if you have filters, okay, if you have filters and that filters you are applying on the dates, I mean the years, okay. So when you apply the years, so what will happen? Your data will be like filtered out. The data will be filtered out. So let's see like what will happen. Okay, let's see. If you are not writing this one, what will happen? Let's see. So let's close this and let's run this. So your previous year sales the measure got created, and we need to pull that into the visual. Let's pull that one manually. You can do it. So now what you're seeing, you're not seeing anything. You're getting the total, but you are not able to see that one. Why? Because the calculation is not happening on the entire result set. Try to understand this. This is very important. So when you understand DAX, it is very easy, but the concept wise, DAX is little bit complex, but that's the reason I'm telling. The context filter and filter context. Filter context and row context. So row context based, generally we go for the calculated columns. And when we go with the measures, then definitely the filter context will be applied automatically. So here, what we are doing, we are opposing that filter context, stating that whatever the value it is, whatever the situation it is during the runtime of the report. So always look all the years which are available in the orders table, which will look all the years. Clear? Got it, teacher?
So, so we are talking about the level of the data we are talking about. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So what happens, if you are not using this all function, so what happened? We are not able to see the data. Why? Because
Yeah,
it is
it's
not
giving up at the highest level of data.
exactly. So it is not sure that what exactly I need to provide it. So what is my reference of the data? So we need to inform, we need to provide the parameter that, hey, when you're calculating this one, you need to apply your calculation on top of all the years which are available, in the table. So here why I'm choosing the year, because I am doing this calculation year by year calculation. Let's say if I go with the month, let's say I wanted to go by month on month, then I will go with the month calculation. You're clear, right?
Yes, Manik, yes.
Okay.
So let's run this.
The all bracket, yeah.
Yeah, this bracket is missed here. So let's run this. Still issue. Okay, I got added with one more bracket over here. Now you can see what is the previous year sales. Since if you see here, this is the previous year sales, and you can easily compare, right? This sales that it is showing for the previous year for this record, that should be the current year sales for previous year, right? So the same thing you can see. Whatever the current year sales for the last year, that will be the previous year sales in the next record. Am I clear?
Yeah, got it, Manik. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Manik, I mean, like, we can also drill down, right? I mean, like, if I click on that number, like 484, that 2015 numbers,
exactly. So, but
can we also drill down, like, by clicking on those?
but we need to implement it, right? See, we need to implement that one. When you implement, when we implement the drill down, then only we can see that.
Okay.
Okay. The detail level of a data. We can see that. I will give an example. No worries.
Manik, I had a small doubt. If in that measure which you just wrote, right, the previous year sales.
Previous year sales.
Yeah, if we also add all and the product in after before the date add, would that change the previous sales?
Product, right?
After all orders.
See, what I did here, I added the product. So what we are seeing, it is broken. It is broken.
Okay.
The reason because, right, what we are doing, we are pulling the sales. We are specific to this measure. Okay, that's the reason we are using these functions, calculate function and all these functions. Okay, so what happened here, we are taking up the sales, and earlier if you see here the previous one, the total sales, here there is no dependency. It is simple sales. So if you go and pull this, let's say remove the order date and remove this previous year sales, and you can see the data. Why? Because there is no calculation or no filter criteria or no specific condition has been applied in this measure. It is simple measure, but it works perfectly for every dimension that you have in your report. But what happens when it comes to this one?
Because it's
because we have specified here, you work only on my dates. So if you change this, okay, if you wanted to change, let's say you wanted to know the product wise, the current year sales and the previous year sales. So what we need to do, we need to change this. Yeah, just give it try. I mean, see, it's like a playground. Now the tool is with you, so you just practice it and try it and come back.
Okay.
Okay.
So it in a way proves that what you were telling earlier, that if we try to apply another filter, it won't, because it is specific to that. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. So again, I can convert this as a beautiful report, like that gives this chart. You can see the current year sales and the previous year sales, and you can also enable. See, if you see here, there is a formatting pointer here. There you have all the visualization features. You can have, when I enable this, and you can see the data labels here, and within the data label, you can go and change the values. Go to here, the values. It has a lot features. Earlier we had very few, but every Power BI is coming up with the new version with new features, right? They keep on adding all these additional features, and now it become like very huge number of features which are available with. Let's say if I do none, then you will see all the entire data. If you change that one to thousands, then again it will be changed to 1,000. Again, if you wanted to change the, if you wanted to increase the font, that you can do. If you wanted to change that, make it a bold, and if you wanted to change the color of it, that again you can do it. And all, so these are like overflow text. You can make it on of it, so the text can be overflowed. Like if it is not able to adjust the size of your bars, or it can be overlapped here. Sometimes if you do not enable this one, what will happen, if it is not able to adjust, then it will disappear. It will disappear, but it overflow text. So it, even if your bars goes up, but still it will make sure that it is displaying. So likewise, see, if you see here, it's an expression based. Even when you click on this one, you can apply the colors based on the other values, So it is like everything is dynamic, become it a lot of features now. So we should be good. And even if you wanted to change the colors again, so this comes up with a visualization site. This comes up with zoom slider. Again, you can add it. So this is again has been added recently. So with this, you can zoom it, or you can bring it, anything you can do it. Okay, with the help of a zoom slider. So the, and and if you see here, every visual that I'm selecting here, you have a focus mode. So when you click on this focus mode, you can see the entire visual in one single view. So let's say you can have multiple views, right? Multiple visuals, and if you wanted to see something in a focus mode, that again you can go to that, and when you click on this back to report button, that will come back here. That will come back here, and it will display. That's it. And when you see, yep.
Yeah, Manik, I'm like, now if you want to add like a product filter over here, like on the top, like a drop down, we can do that, right?
This one, yeah. Let's see. I mean, like, it's a good question again. And let's see if I add a filter, product name, and what I will do, if I choose here, and let's make this one as a filter. Okay, you have a product filter here. Okay, and this filter again, you can bring it over here, and you can apply the colors. So let's say select this one and format painter, and I will apply the colors here. So the background color got applied, and here you have a small button, if you can see. Okay, the small button that can change your the view of your filter from drop down to list. It can be done.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and if you see, if I select one particular product, what is happening? The moment you started applying this filter, it is gone. Okay, so again, I can go here, and there is a modeling section, and not modeling. Yeah, edit interactions. Click on it. You can see the same error. We can see the same error. So why? Why? Because even if you pull that product into the report, or even if you are having the product name as a separate visual, this filter is nothing but a visual in Power BI, right? So either of them is directs to the same thing. Directs to the same thing. Internally, the architecture, the functionality is same thing. Why? Why? Because they're connected within the model. And in this case, the product and everything is in single table. But even if they are not in single table, also you will see the same kind of error message. The reason because you are establishing the relationship within the model. You're establishing the relationship within the model.
So now for this to work, I mean, like what we need to do, Manik? I mean, because in the real time, I mean, like I mean, like they expect us like to give like some
Yeah.
filters on the top, right? Usually.
Yes. See. Generally, what happens? You will build the report. You will build the report not based on the product. Okay, first of all, you will build the report when you're building your current year and previous year. You will build the report not based on the product, first of all. Okay, so what I wanted you all to practice, I mean, explore on this part from here, like, because this is a beginning. This is the beginning. You just see, do I need to replace this year with a product, or or I can add one more criteria here for including or looking for all the products. Is it allowed? If it is working, just explore on it,
Okay.
and we will come back again on that topic. Okay. So I'm removing this one. Okay. So what we have here, so let me go back to this interactions. So basically interactions, what it will do, I do not have, yep. So let's say I have a visuals. Okay, let me build all the visuals so that we can talk about the interactions options. Okay, so this is one, and you can apply the filters, not this one. Let's go back to the other report, any other report that we have in here. So let me go back to the same report once, and what we have the data here. This is our data, and we have sales amount and the quantity, right? So now the question is, the total sales, which I got it here, is it the right one? Why? Because actually this is the sales amount per unit. This is sales amount per unit. But how many units I have sold? I sold 2 items for this particular product, for this particular category, for this particular product and particular category. So basically what I need to do, I need to get the total value by considering both sales and quantity, right? I need to get the total value. So what is the, so what we need to do, basically we need to sum up all this and sum up all this, then after we need to do a multiplication and get the result, right? Am I right? Then we will get the total sales. Am I right? No. No, my logic is not right. It is not correct. Why? Because I should not do the summation of all the sales and do the summation of all the quantity and then do the multiplication. That is totally wrong. Why? Because here the value of each of the product is different. How can I go and do the summation and do the final multiplication? So what I need to do, I need to do a row by row operation. I need to do a row operation. See, if you see here, the sales and should be multiplied with the quantity. Then I will get the total sales of this particular product. And then after again, come back to here. This is the sales. This is the sales. Then after I need to do a multiplication. Then after I need to do a multiplication to this one. So that's how I need to perform this calculation. I need to perform this calculation. You're getting it, right? So what we need to do? We need to create another measure. We need to create a separate measure for this. So let's see what is that measure is. So I will give this as the full sales amount. Anything. You can give a space here. And here I need to perform some kind of expressions here. I need to evaluate an expression for each of the table, each of the record. So that's the reason I will go and use SumX function. SumX function is helpful to find out the calculation or to evaluate the expression for each of the record in the table. So first I need to tell which table I need to use it for. So here my table is orders table, and what exactly I wanted to do, I wanted to do the sales multiplication of the quantity. Multiplication of the quantity. So what it will do a row by row operation for us. It will do a row by row operation for us. Why? Because it has to evaluate the expression for each other record in the table. That's what the sum function is doing for us. So let's run this. As I said, it will not be created anywhere. Will not be created anywhere. So this is different. This is the one which we have created yesterday to understand what if the calculated column will be created with an aggregated function. Okay. And now our full sales amount got created. Full sales amount got created here. Okay. Let's go back and see. Create another visual that gives with both sales where is our full, yes, here it is. Yeah, so this is my full sales. So let's enable this. And you have such a huge variation here. So even when you go and use it, you can replace your full sales in this visual as well. So let's see. Got it. You got it, right? So if you see here, there are three different things here. This one is becoming like, this one is a full sales. This is a full sales amount. And this is a total sales amount, though we have created, it is not actually the total sales amount. It is not actually the sales amount, full sales amount. Okay, clear? So what we are seeing here, either we can use here or we can also use that measure inside this visual. Inside this visual. Why? Because this is a measure, not a dimension. So when the granularity will be changed, when you add a dimension to the visual, the granularity will be affected. The scope of your data will be affected. And if you have created a visual, or if you have created a measure that defines or that limits the scope of your dimension, then we cannot go ahead and use the other dimensions. That is what we have seen, right? So again, like these are the different charts, the different visualizations that you have, and you can explore on that, all of them. And if I go and use, let's say this is the one, and I will go and use this ribbon chart. This is very important. And if you see here, the ribbon chart also generated the results. But what the additionally the ribbon chart will do, you can, when you take your mouse over here, when you mouse over here, you can see this analysis report. This is Power BI gives automatically with the help of a ribbon chart. What is that? What it is saying? This is the 2014 sales and this is 2015 sales, and what is the amount change? That amount change, the change in amount is automatically coming up. So you have a change of 3.38% loss. I mean, it's not loss basically. Your sales came down when you compare your with year the data with 1 year to another year. Okay, similarly you can also see, I mean, basically you have to take your mouse over in between the two bars that you have. That is what the ribbon chart is doing. So again, if you see here, it is again giving the comparison report, that where it is comparing between 2015 and 2016. Why? Because that is the bar, these are the two bars in between this place, the analysis place. This is the difference or the advantage with a ribbon chart when you compare with your bar charts or the cluster bar charts, the ones which we have seen now. Okay, clear? Any questions? So every visual, every visual that we select, if we wanted to change the colors or if we wanted to change the position, let's say take an example for this one. Okay, we have selected donut chart, and if I can change pie chart as well. Okay, anything that can be changed. And if you wanted to apply the colors or the formatting changes, you have to select this visual and you have to apply this format. Okay, so what is that format is? I have to change the colors here. You can change the colors here. Okay, so what is happening now? So I have the labels options. The position I can change it. Okay, the position I can change it. So what else? What it is giving? Label also I can decide it. I just wanted to see the category. I just wanted to the data value or the percentage of the title, or category in data value, category in percentage of total. So all the detail labels, everything I can do. So here I can see the name. I can see the name of the fields. I can see the value, and I can see the percentage. If I wanted to see only the percentage, again I can do the change. And if I wanted to apply the colors, if I wanted to apply the colors that are displaying currently, that again I can do it. And if I take this one to outside, we can see that. colors are not applying somehow. Let me make a bold of it. Okay. So again, so these are all the formatting changes that you can apply in the visualization section. So when you come to here, rotation, again, at what degree you want it to. Let's say if I wanted to rotate it to 270 degree, again that I can rotate it. The visual itself, I'm rotating it. If you see here, 90 degree, 180 degree rotation. Everything I can do. Okay, so this is how you can rotate even when something requires, then you can rotate your visual and with the option called the rotation. Okay, so the legends that you know. So how do you want to display that? The position again, top left, top center. I mean, accordingly, the legends will be shifted out, and you have all these options: bottom center, top corner, center left. Everything you can do it. Everything you can do it. This is how you can change it basically. Okay, why? Because you will be having lot of visuals. It is not simple that you will be having 2 to 3 visuals in every report. Sometimes you will be having lot of visuals. You need to adjust all of them. And if I select here, that will be highlighted again. If you see, and I can make a spotlight over here, that will be highlighted. And we can change the data as well. If it is a center aligned, I mean, if it is a tabular data, then we can change the order of it, either in a sorting order, descending order. That again we can do it. We can change the order of the data which is displaying in the report. And go back to your effects. I mean, general section. So this general section is nothing but your coloring parts. So let's say if I wanted to change the background color to somehow some light color, that I can do it. And again, if you have a specific color palette, again that you can choose it, that again you can select it, that will be applied automatically. And transparency, if you want, you can give 15%. That also again you can do. Title is already enabled, and if you want to, you can change the title of the visual, something like um, individual sales versus complete sales amount. So that again you can do the changes. And if you see the headings also, they have different types here. You can change it, the different patterns of the headings again. And the color also, again we can change it. All these are like if you see the cosmetic changes, how you explore, that way you can do or design your report. That's it, center aligned. So this is not something that a complex thing, it very easy to understand. Okay, the visual border, let's say if you wanted to apply the borders, that again you can apply it. And that borders also you can rotate it for 15%. If I do that, and see, if you see here, the borders are applied here, the rotations, I mean, you can see, right, how it is transforming, the designing side of it. So that's how you can do it. Effects, which comes in the effect side. So the shadow, if you wanted to give a shadow, again that you can do it. Okay, if you see here, this is something, a kind of a shadow, a 3D kind of image, 3D kind of a visual. Okay, so outside, bottom right, everything you can do. So effects and the properties, let's say if you wanted to see the size and adjust of it, okay, that again you can do it. Let's say if I wanted to height, adjust will be 260, let's say, just to see like what's going on here. So width, again I can give 350, so this will be okay for me. And the position, you can see it, you can see the position, and we will create a new dashboard, and I will show you like what is this importance of this position. Let's say you have a report where you wanted to display based on the selection you wanted to display this one. So on top of this visual you will be placing one more visual, and based on the selection of your buttons the visuals will be displayed. So what you need to do, you need to know the position of one visual, accordingly the same position will you can apply it for the other visual, so that one will be sitting on top of the other one will be sitting on top of the other one. Okay, so let's come back to another dashboard. Okay, so if you see here, the beginning I was explaining, like if you see here, this is the dashboard which I have created. Okay, so again I will create in our session, so that you will understand what are the different features I have used and how it can be implemented. So the in Power BI visualization, bookmark plays a vital role, and it can be a interview question as well. The design, see, reporting is not that you have a DAT skills or the modeling skills or the transformation skills or the querying skills. On top of all these things, though you have a very good knowledge on all these things, if you do not have a designing skills, then there is no use of it, right? If you are not able to represent your report in a very effective way, then what will happen? It will not be helpful for the user, and you cannot also create a differentiator. So designing your report also plays a vital role. For that reason, you have this visualization section. In this section, you have a different options. You can apply all the changes. So if you see here I have a profit page, and here I have a sales page, and here I have a quantity page. This is what the Power BI is providing us, and I can do it. But what additionally I can do it with the help of these features which are available. So what I did, I've created a report, but within this report itself, the page navigations can be happen. So if I click on this profit button, and I'm seeing the profit by year segment, profit by region, profit by year and quarter. So that's how I can see it. Let's say if I click this one, sales, you can see the data is getting refreshed here, that I see all the sales related information, sales by year, sales by region, sales by quarter. Okay, I can see that. What I'm able to see here, it is a clickable event, it is a kind of a button event, and also when I click on this particular sales, if you notice other buttons are grayed out. Again, notice that if I click on quantity, I can see the quantity information. At the same time, the sales and profits are, what happened? They're grayed out. So all these features, generally we see, right, these kind of a button events when we go with any applications or anything. So that can be implemented easily with Power BI with the help of a bookmarks. This is called bookmarks. Okay, so I thought to start today, but anyways, we are almost done. So let's again do this report from the beginning itself from tomorrow. Okay, so that we will have a completely the dashboard design in one session. Okay, any questions from anyone?
Manik. Manik, can we also do like just like in the next class or something, like just with the filters and a report also once, like a drop downs and something like that also?
Yeah, we'll do definitely.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah. So if we do not have any other questions, then we are good to wrap it up for today. Okay. Yep. Thank you, everyone.